lesson, I'm going to show you how to make sour cream muffins with a streusel topping, almost like a coffee cake muffin. Today's muffin is going to focus on using the creamy method for mixing quick breads. Remember, quick breads are quick to make, quick to bake, quick to eat. However, when we made the blueberry muffins, you measure dry and liquid. With this one, you are going to start off by creaming your butter and sugar together. Okay, so let's start doing that. Okay, this recipe calls for 8 ounces of butter. 8 ounces is equivalent to 2 sticks of butter. 1 stick is 4 ounces. Okay, so because this is already, measured out for you, you don't need to get out any scale or anything, because I'm telling you 2 sticks is 8 ounces. If you were taking this from one big tub of butter, then you would have to measure this out. Okay, so it's ever available to you in your class. All right. Next up, I've already measured for us our sugar, okay? You need 8 ounces of sugar using your scale. Just as a quick recap, when you turn the scale on, wait, be patient. My recipe calls for ounces, so I have it in the ounces mode already. If for some reason it calls for grams, which sometimes it may, you use the mode button to switch. In pounds. And now I'm back to ounces. When you're measuring something, you put some type of holder on, and then you're going to zero it out, and then you're ready for measuring. Okay? So since I've already measured out, I'm going to add my sugar directly to the bowl. And then I'm going to start the creaming process. Now to do that, you can use a wire whip or a rubber scraper. Make sure that your butter is at room temperature, or at least cold. If it's not, you can use a kitchen mixer, and that will break it up and bring it to room temperature right away. Mine's at room temperature, so I'm going to actually be mixing this by hand for the sake of this video. And then I'm just going to move my bowl around. And the goal, hold on 1 second, I'm going to take a quick break. I finished creaming our butter and sugar together. As you can see, it's all combined together, and it's light and fluffy. That's what you're looking for, okay? Our next step is you're going to add 2 eggs directly in. I've lightly beaten them in a separate bowl already, and then you're going to mix these in. You're just going to want to combine it so you see no white or anything. It's going to be somewhat clumpy, and that's fine. Just like so. And I think I'm pretty good, because I'm going to be continuously mixing as I add my other ingredients. Okay, so this is our wet mixture, and that's good to go. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to add our dry ingredient as flour, and our recipe calls for 10 ounces, which I've already measured for us. I'm going to put this into a bowl, and then I'm going to add in our leavening agent. This recipe calls for baking powder and baking soda, a teaspoon of each, so they'll both be up here. They react together to leaven or make your muffin rise, and then a little bit of salt, which just helps kind of level out the rising process and adds a little bit of flavor. Okay, and I'm going to add that directly to there. I'm just going to mix this around. Okay. Now, because these are called sour cream muffins, and I know that sounds weird. Ew, that's going to be gross adding sour cream. This is going to make these muffins so soft to the bite, tender. They're not going to taste like sour cream. They're just going to add a nice, smooth, rich flavor, and they're going to make these so delicious. Okay. When you add this in, you are going to add, you're going to alternate between sour cream and dry ingredients into the butter mixture in three bouts, okay? So I'm just going to add in a little bit of the flour, and a little bit of our sour cream, and mix. The reason why you are going to be adding it this way is just to to combine these equally, to make it somewhat smooth. Where with the muffin method, it was okay for them to be somewhat lumpy. This this won't be as lumpy just because we're going to be mixing it in 3 different bouts. But it is going to be a lot heavier batter because of the sour cream. This is essentially our liquid ingredient opposed to adding milk, where milk is going to add a rich flavor, not as rich as the sour cream. Okay, we're going to about a third more, a little more of our sour cream, and then, ooh, just a little bout, mix it up. And because the sour cream is so thick, it is going to, you're going to really have to put a little elbow grease, and it has a good amount of flour to mix this up. Because you don't want to see a streak of sour cream. You want it very well mixed. Okay, and then our last bout, flour, and then our sour cream directly into there. Mix this up. We're almost good to go. Okay, our last ingredient is vanilla, which is just going to add flavor. It's our extract, which is, I've added 1 teaspoon. I've already pre-measured that. That's why I just added it in. It was measured accurately. Okay. And now our batter is good. I'm going to set this off to the side because now I'm going to quickly prepare our streusel topping. A streusel topping is a mixture of butter, white sugar, brown sugar, cinnamon, and a little bit of salt. Okay. On your recipe, you'll have the measurements for you so you can measure them out. You're going to have 4 ounces of flour. You're going to combine that in with both sugars. You have brown sugar, which has a different texture than white sugar for a little bit of chewiness, and it combines well with the white. I have added my white sugar. We had 1 ounce of brown sugar and 3 ounces of regular, and then a little bit of a pinch of cinnamon. I think I've added 2 pinches here because I like cinnamon. And I'm just going to combine this together. And then the best part, which is going to add all the flavor, 5 ounces of butter, which I've cut into chunks because you're going to cut this in like so. And what you want is you want the butter to crumble together to form your streusel. So it's like a crumbly topping. I'm going to use my hands just to get it together. As long as your hands are clean, they're your best tool. And you just want it mixed just until it starts clumping a little bit together and the butter has softened up. So this is pretty much, this is good. I'm going to crumble this off. I'm just going to wipe my hands. Here. And then now we're going to spoon, that's your finished streusel. Now we're going to spoon our batter into our muffin liners. I've already prepared the pan, 12. Now with this, remember we use the portion scoop for equal distribution. I've already leveled it off and then put it right in. This makes for a little bit quicker distribution of the batter. And it's a lot even, much more even than if you were just going to spoon it in by hand, which we most of us traditionally do at home. Okay. For the sake of time, I'm just going to stop, and I'll continue afterwards when I bake these. But let me show you how you're going to put your streusel topping on. You're going to take a nice clump, and you're just going to crumble it right onto the top. And what's going to happen is when it bakes, it's going to melt together and make like a caramely, crunchy topping. Just going to press this in. like that. Okay, I'm gonna do it for the second one. You can always, there's no exact amount that you can put on the top, because some people like a lot of crumbly topping and some people don't like as much. So you can always go back and put more on at the end, just to make sure you have enough for all of them. Okay? I'm going to put them in the oven. These bake for about 20 minutes once you're finished doing all of this, and then you'll be able to eat and enjoy. I'll show you the finished product when complete. Thank you. Hello. I have just taken your sour cream muffins out of the oven. This is what they should look like, nice golden brown. You can see when you take them out. You're going to take them out to cool. I just took them out. They have the nice crisp coating. They're just lightly golden brown. If they're not golden brown, they're not done yet. And if they're black, you've burned them. Enjoy.